Debates, hot takes, and soccer updates from your backyard and around the world. Welcome to the Run of Play. Today, it's Coach Jimmy and I with a special guest, Coach Pat Burnette. We're going to let Coach Jimmy kind of talk about him and their relationship for a second.
What a special guest we have today. Obviously one dear to my heart, obviously my best friend, family, my brother. I wanted to kind of introduce how we met and kind of how we went about and why this is such a special week, because obviously we're here with Electric City and Soda City. We're going to play each other on Saturday in the Premier Division. But this story goes back to like 94. We played against each other in high school. We went to our high school coaches were best friends. They went to the same camp, Coastal Carolina, in the summer. We played against each other there. I first went to my Appalachian State to a recruiting visit and got to see him play against Charleston Southern. I went to Charleston Southern. He was my person that kind of showed me around. I came home. I told the person I was talking to at the moment that, dude, if I go here, this is my best friend. And I ended up committing to Charleston Southern. We ended up being roommates. Now we're, obviously chasing journeys together. And what a special opportunity for us to be able just to, come together, talk about both our clubs, talk about each other, and talk about the impact you made. Because I will say, I came to coaching because of him. Obviously my wife's support, but Pat was the one that kind of pushed me along. I didn't want anything to do with the game anymore because of, when you get out of the college game, it's part of your life. You don't know what direction you're going to go. So, about I don't know. My son was 3 or 4 years old. It was like 15 years ago. So he was continuing to push me to try to coach. And so I owe everything to him. Obviously, the Electric City being born, I owe that to him. And it's such a special week for us to be able to play each other and kind of talk a little smack and have a little fun. And I think the last competitive thing we did together was our ping pong match in our apartment. So I'm sure you're looking for some get back here, because I did win that last one, even though he's a better ping pong player than me. But welcome, man. I love you more than anything. And what a special opportunity we get to sit here and share this moment together.
No, I'm excited. Thanks for having me. It's been a long time coming, us to try to do things together. And you've had great success since I finally got to push you into coaching, and you haven't looked back. So continue to change kids' lives every day that you do, man. You're doing it for the right reason. So I'm very proud of you.
Appreciate that.
So Pat, let's talk about you. Let's tell the people who you are, what you're all about, your background, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure. Soccer is my passion. It's part of my heart after my family. Soccer is the thing I hold near and dear. And it's always given me some of the best parts of my life have come through the game of football. And, I started playing when I was very young, at 3, 4 years old, overseas. I'm a military brat. So I started kicking a ball in England and then Germany and Scotland, and we moved all over and then moved back to the States. And I picked it up when I was about 9 competitively. And I did not have a good experience in the beginning. I had a coach that did not like me for whatever reason. I didn't get to play very much. And so I kind of played one season, and then I stepped away. And I told my parents, I want to play baseball. So I went and played baseball. And was pretty decent at baseball, had another bad coaching experience, and I was done with baseball. And so I couldn't really figure it out. And when we moved to Virginia, one of my closest friends in the neighborhood, he was playing soccer. And I went to a practice with him. And I was just sitting on the bleachers, and the coach said, "Hey, tell your friend to come over here and just join us." And so I did, and we were doing some cone drills, just dribbling in and out. And I did it very well. And he said, "Hey, I want you to come play for our team." And then I've never looked back since. I've been playing this game competitively at a high level ever since. Fortunate enough to have a decent high school career at Stratford High School. Very fortunate enough to play Division I for 3 years at Charleston Southern as a starter, which is where I met my brother here, Jimmy. Took some time off, took 3.5 years off of school, still had a year eligibility and decided, you know what, I need to graduate. I want to be the first person in my family to graduate with a college degree. I want to play again. So I was fortunate enough to go back and play at Lander University. Good success, great program there. And then when I left there, I played a very short stint and then for the Atlanta Silverbacks, and realized quickly that this is the it for me from a playing standpoint. I'm not, this isn't really what I want to do anymore. And then I got into medical sales, and sales has been a big part of my life since that day. Had success, and then a buddy of mine, my best friend back home, Tony Baker, he's also my business partner. He had the idea for Soda City FC, and he said, "Hey man, I think we can do this." My buddy in Spartanburg is running Kendall Reyes. Shout out to Kendall. He was running a team called Spartanburg United or Sparta FC, something like that, in Spartanburg. So we go up and talk to Kendall. Tony does, and then I said, "You know what, man? My buddy down in Charleston, Alan Biordi, runs a club in the UPSL." Alan Biordi was the catalyst for all semi-professional soccer in UPSL in the state of South Carolina. Have to give credit where credit's due. Tony and I went down there and watched him. He gave us a behind-the-scenes look from a budgetary standpoint, from how he's managing players. And on our way home, we were like, you know what, we can do this way better. And so Soda City FC was formed. We went out and got a couple more people to help us, got some sponsors, had tryouts, had 111, 12 players first season of tryouts, and it was electric, playing off of Electric City, but it really was in Columbia. Everything was very energized, and people were like, "Oh wow, we can play." You know, this was started as not just a passion project, but something to really deliver back to the community and to the game that's given us so much. My business partner was a football player. He played at Francis Marion, he graduated from Irmo, and we love the game. We absolutely love it. If we can't play it, we want to coach it. If we can't coach it, we want to be involved in mentoring somehow. And so we formed Soda City FC and have not looked back. We've had some, ups and downs, more ups than downs, had some great success. Now we've gotten into the youth game, started our own youth academy. And here we are today just trying to keep bridging that gap in our state, because there are so many underprivileged and underutilized kids that want to play this game, but can't for whatever reason. Maybe it's finances, maybe it's logistics. But we really want to bridge that gap for those kids in our community and give them somewhere to play. So that's where we are today.
Awesome. When it comes to building a club, obviously, being a part of, building Electric City, there's tons of different logistics, but you guys experience success immediately. And you guys are now the first ever, in the Mid-Atlantic region anyway, 2-time national champions.
Ever.
First ever.
Never.
2-time national champions. And so tell us a little bit about is this where you always saw the club going, or was it always more of a, let's just get people in Columbia on the field?
We knew that we had a lot of talent in Columbia. There's a ton of talent. I came from Charleston, where there's also a ton of talent. And I knew that if we could, it's kind of like what's the movie with, if you build it, they will come type of thing.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. Same concept. There are so many people looking to play this game, but there are so limited facilities and places to play. So what we had to do was form partnerships early on. And once we did that, we had a venue for our kids to play. And man, when we put that out there, we just had droves and droves of people emailing, calling, showing up for tryouts, even after it was done mid-season. Hey, can we come out and try? How do we get a part of this? And that was a really good feeling, because we knew that we had a viable solution. We knew that we had a void in the market for this, specifically in Columbia. And what aided us in success is because we're made up of not only smart business people, but we're all soccer guys as well. So we understand what it means to be on and off the pitch and how to run a company that way. And it's not just a soccer team. Although we started out that way, now we're a full-fledged company. And in 2019 was when we experienced our first taste of success. We made it to the Final Four, UPSL National Championship in Miami. and played against the Maryland Bobcats. We lost that game. We lost in the semis. They didn't have a third place game back then. So we were one and done. But it was a really good experience. We lost 3-2. We were up 2-0 at one point in the first half. Second half, they came back and kind of took it to us a little bit. But that team turned pro the very next season. They went to NISA. So that's the type of level that we were playing. We were like, wow, this is a pro team now. And we were right there with them. And so that taste of success, it fed us. So we wanted to have it more and more and more. And then we went through a down spiral where some things happened in our market where we had some people turn against us, let's just say. Don't really want to get into any of that negativity, but we had a lull period where we had to really fight, and our identity was tested. Our badge was tested. Our name was tested. And we fought through and fought through and fought through because we have done things the right way. We've treated people how they deserve to be treated. We don't lie, cheat, or steal. It's not in our philosophy. And we maintain our identity by being true to ourselves. We're trying to break barriers, right? We're trying to give everyone that wants to play this game or be a part of it in any facet, we want to give them that opportunity through Soda City FC. And that's really what's aided in our successes, being entrenched in the community.
So did that early success and now your more recent success, does that affect your players' aspirations, your coaches' aspirations, or your organization's aspirations year over year?
100%. Now that we've had that taste in 2024, where as you said, we became the first team from the state to win it. And then we did it again, the first team in history to win back-to-back, and the first team in history to win it twice. So we decided, we need to win it every year. We can do that. And it's just such a hard competitive league. It's very hard to travel and play away. Most of these players have jobs. They have families. This is not, for the faint of heart. These are guys and women, because we have a women's team too, that are dedicated to not only the craft of football, but they're dedicated to their other things that they're successful at too. So there's an extreme balance that you have to play with. And our coaching staff, they're hungry. They want to win every single year. We're trying to get the best talented players to come play for us. And our players feed off of that. We've sent 13 players now to the true professional ranks all over the world. As a matter of fact, next week I'm going to Greece for a Neon Cup youth tournament. My son is playing, my oldest son. And we're going to see Rafa, who is the best player to ever play for us. He's why we won 2 national championships. We're going to watch him play in his hometown, or where he's playing in Greece.
That's right.
So we're really excited about that. It's going to be a really cool moment.
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle. And when he's done, he's already committed to coming back. He loves us that much. The kids that he were involved in with our programs, they love him, they miss him, the families do. So that's really what breeds our success. And yes, we have the itch to win it again, but now that we've done it, it's shifted a little bit. We can't rewrite history again, right? Unless we can win it 3 more times in a row, that'd be great, right? But what we can do is continue to give those dreams and the possibility and that avenue to reach those dreams to the kids. And that's what we're about right now.
Absolutely. So rivalries can start from anywhere. You guys have been in the league for a couple years now. One of the main reasons that they start is location, but it's also personal relationships. So obviously this weekend we've coined it the Palmetto Derby. It's Electric City versus Soda City. And we want that to be something year over year that is really determining the outcome of the Mid-Atlantic South. And that's really the goal for this. Does Soda City see Electric City as their rivals yet?
We haven't played yet, right? Obviously there's a rivalry brewing just because of our relationship, right? Anytime family is involved, there's a little extra edge to the game, right? And whatever happens, we're both going to be happy for each other. Does not matter if we win or lose. I want him to be successful and vice versa. That's what it's about. We're trying to grow the game. Again, if you're really for the kids, wins and losses take care of themselves, but as long as you're doing it for the right reasons and you're doing it the right way, I think that's what means the most. It's not about the wins and losses. Those just come naturally.
All right, Pat, Jimmy, did you guys ever think that way back when you were playing ping pong in your dorm room, do you guys think that you'd be here owning competitive clubs and playing against each other, and what could potentially determine the outcome of the league?
I mean, I can answer that no, because his aspirations are a lot larger than mine, a lot quicker. When he started Soda City, we giggled back and forth at each other because I thought it was a pipe dream, and he proved me wrong. And what a I mean, you have to give credit where credit's due. He's built an unbelievable opportunity for people in his community. So, no, I didn't think we'd be in this because I didn't think even last year, I didn't think we would be in this situation. I didn't know if we would be good enough to win D1. So, we're just blessed to have that opportunity to kind of go at one another. And like he said, like, he's the closest person I have in my life, other than my immediate family. But there is nothing more in the world than I do want to beat this guy. I mean, so, I think that's the thing people need to know about him and me is, like he said, I'm going to hug him and love him after the game. But for the 90 minutes, our two teams are going to go at it at each other and try to give the other one a little bit of Thanksgiving, crap talk. That's what life's about, having fun with it.
Absolutely. I'm thankful that I'm not coaching anymore, because if the two of us were on the sidelines, oh my God, we're like tit for tat.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, you guys are right on our sidelines. You're right next to each other, so that'd be pretty interesting.
It's going to be fun.
So, I mean, going into the matchup a little bit, ECFCs, we've only played one game. We drew against Asheville. Obviously, you guys know a little something about that. One of your guys' results this year is also a draw against Asheville. But you also logged a big win against PDA. You guys kind of smoked them, dropped 5 on them in that matchup. So, for us, it's one of those things where we're testing a lot of players. We've got a lot of new faces on the roster from last year, but we do also have a lot of returners. So one thing we wanted to do is kind of go through a combined starting 11. We're going to debate who should be starting, and we're going to do it out of a 4-3-3. So 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, and 3 attackers, and a goalie, obviously. So we'll go through, and each of you can nominate and go back and forth on why you think that player deserves to be in that starting 11.
I'll go first. Obviously, we're going to start a new goalkeeper this weekend. So I don't know what we're going to see from him. He played at Coastal Carolina for Sean, our old coach. He played at Erskine as well. So I'm hoping he's going to do well, but I know probably Blaze or somebody you're going to bring in. Who knows who you're going to bring in? So, I don't know who goes the edge with that, but I'll let you debate on that. The back line, for me, is the matchups rather than who's the better starting 11. I'm curious to see how our back line's going to match up with his creativity, with his experience, with their pace, with their physicality. So that's what I'm looking for more than 11v11. So I'm going to kind of spin that a little bit. But I'm also curious to see how, we're going to match up with our, the front 3 that I have in mind right now, we haven't seen together. Curious to see how they're going to do. How can they, is it something that can we hit on the right mixture against that back line, and how we can transition, how organized are we going to be defensively. So for me, it's matchups. I think they have a way better, more organized midfield, I think, right now, just because we haven't had the time to come together. And I think that's where Asheville really exploited us. I thought they were very organized. I thought they knocked the ball around really well. And the way they interchanged their runs from their front 3 to the middle 3 was impressive. So I think it's more of a matchup situation for me than it is who's the better 11, because I don't know a lot about his team. He knows nothing about what we have because I don't know nothing what we have. So, it's kind of one of those things where we are dipping our toe in uncharted territory, and there's a bunch of sharks over there waiting to chomp our leg off. So, I'm going to let him kind of answer those questions.
Sir, I think it's very difficult for either of us to say, let's combine our teams for a top 11. We just don't know each other's personnel that well. And then we're biased,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But what I will say is that this game is going to be a war. It's with the added pressure of our relationship and the first time we're playing and some other things that we're trying to do down the road. I think that you're going to see a very high level game of football. It's going to be exciting for the fans to watch. I don't think it's going to be a 0-0 game. I think it's going to be just all out from start to finish. And, you know, our players are always excited to attack. That's what we're known for. The league is very physical. The UPSL is one of the most physical leagues I've ever watched. And because you have grown men who used to be professionals playing against sometimes kids that are still trying to go to college, that's a big gap from experience and physical attributes. So it's a very complex league to navigate. And I believe that this weekend, you're going to see two of the top teams in the Mid-Atlantic, North or South, Mid-Atlantic period, go at it and battle for not only some crap talk back and forth amongst us, our friendship, but same state, new team, representing the upstate. We have a target on our back no matter where we go from here on out. It doesn't matter if we show up to play pickup. Oh, those are Soda City guys. We got to take them out, right? And that's great. We welcome that. We brought that upon ourselves in the best way possible, right? By winning, by proving that we were the best. And so I think that you're going to see a lot of talent on both sides from the wing play. I think you're going to see some physical and defensive tackles that are going to be up there because of the adrenaline, what's on the line for this game. And then specifically, we've both played Asheville. We've both tied Asheville. And both our games were a little different, too. It was a little bit back and forth. I got to give you a shout out to your keeper, too. I thought that was a goal. I thought he put it upper 90 the first 5 minutes of the game. I was completely shocked, which would have changed the game. Y'all probably would have won that game if that goes in. But
We scored off that corner.
you did score off the corner, but still, it would have completely demoralized him if your keeper scores from 80 yards out like Tim Howard. But it's just going to be a battle of physicality and heart and who wants it more. I think both of our teams are very close technically, style of play. I think you're going to see one hell of a match.
Sure. I mean, let's pivot and let's talk about a matchup. You know, let's go with who would you say our best outside back is against your best winger and talk about.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna go with I mean, I cannot wait to see Jaden Mason, Hakeem Martin go at it. I mean, like they've gone at it from when Jaden played at Charlotte and from other matchups that's gonna be fun. To me, like two kids from, you know, Hakeem's from Greenwood, Jaden's from Seneca. Dude, that's awesome.
Big, good
I mean,
local
that's what this
battle.
is about. That's what this is for. That's for me just because it's somebody I know and somebody that I've watched since Hakeem was in high school and in club, and I've coached Jaden in high schools and I mean in club. So and for me, that's gonna be fun. You know, I mean, I have no idea where Hakeem's gonna play. So, but for me, I know that matchup they're gonna run across each other eventually, but. Jaden's our more profiled outside back, you know, playing at the Crown and, you know, going to Winthrop, playing Division I, being a captain there. And he's a true leader. He is what Electric City stands for. He is what I stand for. I mean, he's hard-nosed. He's going to talk smack. At the end of the game, I mean, he's going to go in as hard as possible to every tackle. At the end of the game, he's going to give you the biggest hug. He's got the biggest smile. He's so infectious. You know, I think that's what the game's lost. You know, when we used to go at it, I mean, dude, we used to destroy each other. But man, we go home, we're roommates. These kids have gotten soft these days. They can't take any type of physicality. They take it so personal, and the game is, you know, it's a bunch of collisions out there. You know, so that's my matchup. I have no idea what he's going to say. So
Well, is Hakeem making the trip?
He better. Yeah, he will. Hakeem is one of our, not only is he our captain, now he's one of our best players. He's been part of our family for quite some time. And even when he's gone away, he always comes back. And so, talented player. He should be playing professionally. We're trying to get him there. And it's just a matter of time. I know Jaden too. Jaden's he played at Charlotte FC, right? And so he was an outside left back at Charlotte FC. So I've seen him many times, and he knows us very well. And I'm sure he has some bad blood. They were only able to beat us, I think, one time, the whole time he was there. So that is going to be an interesting matchup to see whomever's going against Jaden on whatever side he's on. But for us, just specifically a winger, Jose Flores, arguably the best player in all of the UPSL. The kid could play professionally at any level if he wanted to, but he's a hard worker. He's got a business. He's got a family. And we're just so blessed to have him as part of our family for years and years. Extremely loyal as well. And so I'm excited. I'm always excited to see what Jose does on the field. If he's on, good luck trying to stop him. If he's not, that's your only chance. So I'll throw down that gauntlet for Jose. And I hope he travels too. Otherwise, it's just all for naught. And again, that's what's so difficult about this league. These are grown men. A lot of times they have families, they have real jobs. Certain things take precedent, right? We don't pay our players.
What's also awesome is it just, you know, you don't want it, but it creates opportunity. Hey, man, Jose's not there, or hey, Jaden's not there, or hey, Johnny's not there. Don't matter. Another opportunity for another person to be able to showcase their ability. Maybe they make a name for themselves. So, I mean, obviously, we're without our top player, Eddie. Melgar got red carded at the end of the game, so we're without him. Dude, next man up. We're going to come out, sling another dude out there, and hopefully he carries us and is our, you know, creates his own name, creates his own legacy. So, I mean, that is y'all's top player in that matchup. But for me, I always like to keep it local.
Yeah. Well, to your point about, you know, giving other players opportunities, last game against what are they? Pre-DA. We have a partnership with River City FC back home. Okay, they're the UPSL Division I team, and I think they're playing some of the MPSL games, but they're our gap year college assistance program. And James Jordan runs that, does a fantastic job. One of his kids, one of the first kids that has come from River City to Soda, his name's Aiden. He got in at the end of the game. I told him at halftime, I was like, when you get in, I want to see you do something. His first touch, he makes an overlapping run playing right wing, takes the first touch, puts himself in on a one-on-one, and chips a 6'2" goalkeeper from PDA for a goal. And then comes back and is just, all of his Irmo kids are there, River City kids, Soda, everybody's cheering for this one kid. And he's like 18, 19 years old.
That's what it's about.
That was cool. And then afterwards, I was like, how was that feeling? He was like, best feeling ever. So that's what it's about. It's about those pure moments of true joy and bliss. And if you can recreate those moments through this game, we're doing our job.
Kind of like Caden Christian for us last year. That had
When he came back.
two goals in the last 10 minutes to win the game for us. That was
one of the most special moments that I've been a part of with
I mean, 17-year-old kid. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yep.
Yeah. So the league, I mean, obviously we talked, it's physical. Was there any surprising results that you guys saw over the past weekend?
Pat follows it a little bit closer than me just because I'm new. I follow Jay Hamid, and he's the head coach of SC Surf. He used to be at Charleston United. He's a fellow colleague of ours that he's a great player too. So top class player, but even better coach, but even better person. But anyway, he's about the only one I follow other than my man. So I don't really know. I don't really follow anybody. I just kind of try to keep us in track. But I will say, you know, I talked to Jay. You know, he said that he struggled a little bit with combine, and I thought, I'm expecting Surf to be quality, dude. I'm expecting Surf to be quality. He's a good coach. He has hands-on plethora of talent. I'm expecting him to be high quality, and then only come out 2-1, I think it was a surprise to me, even though they won. I just expect big things from him just because of how good a coach he is. What about you?
I don't know if there were any unexpected scorelines from the weekend. I know the Heat played NC Ballers and won 6-0. I didn't expect that to be so drastic. But other than that, I think the scorelines that are going to kind of give notice are going to come later on in the season. The Coastal Kings, though, actually, now that I think about it, the Coastal Kings, I believe they got upset. That was a little shocking because of the personnel that they've had in the past. They've had some soda guys that are high quality, and they made a late run last year and made the playoffs. So I didn't expect them to lose as they did, but we'll see how they rebound.
I would say probably Electric City tying Asheville is a shock to some people, just to be honest with you, because I didn't know what to expect in this league. And, I mean, dude, I feel like we got two of the best teams week 1 and 2, in my opinion. They were so organized in the way they played the game. To just get a point out of that and us not be full strength. Because we'll be better this week than we were last week, even though we're without our best player. And then we'll continue to get better. I thought that was probably a surprise to a lot of people because I think probably they thought they were going to come in and smash us. So, I mean, that's probably, if you ask outside person from R2, that's probably a surprise for us.
But what you're also going to see is after April 18th, when spring season's over for college, everybody gets better. Because college kids get free and they come down and they play, and it just changes a lot.
So you've been in the Premier now for a couple of years. With the new additions to the Mid-Atlantic South this year, give us your prediction for the top 4. Who's going to finish as the top 4 teams in the Premier Division of the Mid-Atlantic South?
Obviously, I'm going to say Soda City. I think Electric City will be in the top 4. I think the Heat will be in the top 4. And I think Asheville will be in the top 4. I think they're going to squeeze out Surf and Mint Hill. But it's going to be a battle. I believe they changed it this year to 6 teams make playoffs. And then the top 2 get byes. So it's a little bit different.
So would you say Mint Hill and
then Surf will be the top 6.
I don't know if we can finish the top 4. I mean, but like I said, I'm expecting Surf to do big things, and we're gonna have to be a little more organized and be a little bit more efficient. But I'm excited for see, that's the thing. He does it, I think we both do it because we want to take on the biggest mountains and try to challenge ourselves. I think that's what's fun about it is this is a huge challenge for me, just like it was when he started it. I think it's fun. I mean, that's what it's about, is having fun, keeping life real. I think, I've learned from the best over here, so I'm excited.
So let's just go into it. Give me a score prediction for this weekend.
You want to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, all right.
I'll go first. I'm going to say 3-2, obviously, Electric City.
I say 3-1 Soda.
Oh, okay. All right, then. All right. Every week, we try to make sure that we are being connected to our local soccer community here in the upstate as well as across the state. So we're going to talk about a couple of the biggest wins for the state. So we'll go into that. You want to talk about one?
Yeah, obviously, one of the bigger wins for me of the week was Wade Hampton beating Dorman. I thought that was a huge win for the Generals because Dorman has been on a roll. I think they've only lost 1 game prior. A really good team. Wade Hampton is a scrappy team too. They've lost a couple at the very beginning, but I think they've found their right footing and on the right track. So that was a huge win in 5A. But I do know that obviously Stratford was #1 in the state, and that's where my man's graduated from. And they lost to Wando in penalties, and then they just lost to Lucy Beckham. So, that was a big, win for Lucy Beckham. You want to tell you a little bit about Stratford? I think you coached Tyler, didn't you?
I did. I coached Tyler. I coached the former coach too, Jesse Stamett. So wish them all the best. They're better people than they're actually better men than they are coaches, and they're a hell of a coach. So that's saying something. Two class people.
What about you, Coach?
So I think my biggest one has got to be Christchurch, taking on Powdersville and giving them a run for their money and beating them. As well as we were talking earlier, where Wren's now dropped 3 games all in succession. So that's pretty interesting to me.
Wren losing to Fountain Inn is tragic.
Yeah.
I mean, them to be as ranked as high as they were and have the type of players and quality of players like Miller Steele's a stud. Jed Landrum's a stud. My man Tate, a stud. Huddy. So I mean, I was just surprised they lost to Fountain Inn. No disrespect to Fountain Inn, but I just thought Wren has that much quality. So that was a big upset for me as well.
All right. So the next thing we want to talk about, we always want to give a shout out to a player. This week's player is Isaac Pardo. I mean, we were talking about him earlier, and man, what an incredible resume he's putting together for himself. He's played 25 games. He's a sophomore over at Greer. He's scored 39 goals and has 10 assists just as a sophomore. I mean, he's on track to break probably every record they have over at Greer.
Oh, like last week we had the kid from AC Floro setting the school record. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This kid's going to break I think his head coach has the record at Greer. So that'd be cool for them to have that moment together. But I think Isaac Pardo is an absolute stud. Greer's like ranked #2 in the state, and then 4A. The kid's a really high caliber player. He's a great finisher. He has a lot of pace. He's very skillful. His movement off the ball is really good. So I mean, 4A, you better watch out for Isaac Pardo, because that dude can flat out put the ball in the goal.
Yeah, I mean, just based on his stats, haven't got out to actually see him personally, but it sounds like he's going to be the one to watch for the state this year.
I agree.
Now, we also talk about the upcoming matches this week, or before the next podcast airs. We have a huge matchup coming out of the upstate, and that's very personal for you. So, I mean, with TL Hanna and taking on JL Man, that is going to be, the biggest matchup definitely this week, but maybe all season.
I'm so proud of our boys, man, to put ourselves in this opportunity where we're going to match up against JL Man Thursday, and then be able to drive down to Charleston, play Bishop England, then play Wando on Wednesday. Murders Row set up intentionally to prepare our team. And, we could be in a situation where these games don't matter. But, yeah, this one's personal just because, obviously it's personal because you want to beat the best teams in the state. That's what makes it personal. I think that's what the misconception is like when me and Pat were coming up, man, we don't want to play and beat up on tomato cans. We want to play the best there is out there. That way you're testing yourself. You're seeing what type of player, what type of team you have. So I'm looking forward to the matchup. Obviously JL Man has nothing to lose. They're the defending state champion. We're the one trying to make a name for ourselves. We're just on the come up. We're very young. But I'll be honest with you, we have made a point this year to say, this is our last year in 5A. I've never not coached in 5A. So, that's no disrespect to the other classifications, but I want to be at the top. I want to coach at the top. So this is my last year in 5A since we're dropping down to 4A next year. This will be the last matchups I have with JL Man, the 2-1 rips I have. So yeah, we want to beat them really bad. I want to really beat them bad. We have a couple kids from ECFC that's on JL Man, so bragging rights are, like we say, are big time. We want to be able to rib them a little bit.
Absolutely. So coaches, players, if you have any recommendations, please feel free, submit them down below in the comments, DM them to us. We are always looking for that next shout out. This is the segment that everybody is coming to watch for. This is hot takes on the Run of Play. Today, I'm going to go ahead and start. My hot take is that I believe that South Carolina can be a top 5 state when it comes to exporting soccer players and the level that we export at, if we can minimize the amount of people who are leading the state into one central organization. Thoughts on that?
I don't disagree with that a bit. I think kind of goes on what Pat was saying and goes on with what you just said, the watering down the leagues and so many of the leagues. And, I think like what he brought up earlier, you should have all the best teams playing the upstate, all the best teams playing the mid-state, all the best teams playing the lower state. One, represent that from whatever the 2 or 3 levels of play that you want. And then that represents your state and whatever representation of regional play you want. But that's not what's going to happen. So,
Yeah, it's great in theory. I agree with it, but it will never happen.
Yeah,
I mean, getting power, they get addicted to it. They get addicted to the little bit of taste of money with very little effort to earn that money. And that goes across anything, right? But in the soccer landscape in our state, it's gotten more and more complicated and more layers. And specifically, the larger clubs in the state are the ones that determine everything for all the clubs in the state. It's basically an election based off of the amount of kids that they have in the club, and that's how many votes that they get. So they trump all smaller clubs.
mm-hmm.
And you got the whole state controlled by 3 clubs, pretty much. So I believe for anything dedicated to the true player development, that type of power needs to shift a little bit. Everybody needs to have some type of say for true development. And I just don't think it's set up for that to ever happen.
Yeah, I mean, my personal experiences, when I was coaching at SWU, we were told that we were allowed to recruit from MPL or ECNL or ECRL, those 3 leagues, and that was it. And so it's obviously coaching at a club where until this prior year, we didn't have those leagues, but we had players who could easily step on the pitch at a school like that. And I think that it's killing, like last week we talked about the recruiting locally, it's killing the local recruiting. So that's where I'm at with that.
My hot take is, bouncing exactly. You just like came right down my pathway with it. Is let's talk about CASA for a minute. Since we've been bouncing off legislature, let's talk about CASA. 10 years ago we were a recreational club. 10 years ago we did have like 400 or 500 kids in our club, or I think it was like 550 something. They were representing in 3 different parks they were training in. We had 0 state championships other than 1 PMSL girls championship. I think our membership should understand like where we did come from and the direction that we're going and the opportunities that we're giving now. I do think it's easy to be lost in, hey, I don't know where, they're not used to where we came from. I think it's easy to skip past, all the hardships and all the people that have laid the foundation to get us to this point. So my hot take would be simply this, would be like, hey man, we're probably one of the best quality rising clubs I know in the upstate of South Carolina. It's not a question, hands of doubt. People are recognizing that. In the next couple of weeks, people will see what that recognition is going to come. If that happens, then we're going to go on a different platform. We're going to be in a completely different round than other people because this is the bottom line. It's exactly what he said earlier. If we're here for the right kids, man, these trophies and these bank accounts that these people are bursting up, that they're patting their chest about, it should be about giving kids opportunity. It should be about putting kids in school. I will say this, if we had 4,000, 5,000 kids in our institution, then we would be putting more than 10 kids in at a time. I will say this, we have on our girls team, shout out to Nathan Orojo. You know, he has like 18 kids on that girls team. I know like 10 of them are going to school. You know, on the boys team, we've had plenty of opportunity for them to go to school. We have our first Division I goalkeeper going. We have people, you know, I have people that we play, and I'm playing against them. And I asked them, hey, man, and this is ECNL kid, hey, man, where are you going? Well, I can't get them to call me. I made one phone call. Boom. And they're saying they want to look at this kid now. And that's pathetic. So I think these kids, these parents, need to quit chasing the letter on their arm, need to start putting a little bit more faith in having conversations with their coach and their director. And if their directors aren't willing to talk to you, then you need to go somewhere else. That's a simple, cut and dry. If they tell you that they're too good to talk to you, then you need to go somewhere else. And if they're not making time to discuss things, you need to go somewhere else. If they're not making themselves available to be seen, you need to go somewhere else. And then if they're not really trying to develop your kid, they're just trying to develop teams, you need to go somewhere else. You do have to play at a good level of play for your kid to be seen. Yes, you do. I believe that. Agree. But if you're good, they will find you. And I believe in that statement very much. You just have to be consistent. And that's the hottest take I can give you right now.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off that, I know at our club, I know that I do it. I know other coaches that do it. We'll sit down and write recruiting emails with you, and we'll sit down and research the schools that you're interested in and all of that. And I'm not in those other clubs, but I can say that I would put my money that they're not doing all that extra work afterwards and taking the phone calls, that going on the visits with them. And
well, I mean,
extra work.
It's like this. We had a kid. He was going to go to Wofford. And things happened that he was not able to make that happen. And we had to drop back and scramble. We brought this to you. We gave you this opportunity. It didn't work out. No, you're on now, man. We got back in the shop. We started that process back over. And boom. Same thing with Ezra White. I mean, Ezra White, shout out. I mean, he wasn't going to college, Charleston. We were at Mesa playing in regionals. East Tennessee State comes and watches us playing regionals. I think they were coming to see somebody from Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, they see him. They come right over after him. Ezra, being the loyal person he is, going to East Tennessee State, went up there, killed it, yada, yada, yada. The coach gets fired. They withdraw the offer. We're back within 2-3 months left recruiting. I mean, dude, like, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and if you don't have somebody in your corner willing to back you and fight for you, chances of, with the way the landscape is, your kid's not going to get the opportunity he or she deserves. So, I don't care what club it is. I don't care what club your kid plays for. But you need to make sure you have somebody really willing to do the dirty work for you and not just stand out in front of when the lights are on. I mean, that's the best I can say it.
I think Ezra is a prime example of everything we're trying to prove here. You coached him since he was 10 years old?
He was 13.
13? Playing up 2 age groups or something, or at least one age group?
He was playing one age group up at the time.
So I remember we're at the first game I saw Ezra play live down at South Carolina United. And one of their directors said, "You're going to lose that kid to CISA. There's no way you're going to keep that kid." And you said, "We'll see." And because CASA didn't have ECNL, that's what everybody hangs their hat on. This kid was a top challenge player at the time. Piedmont, whatever the top league was in the state, top Piedmont player. And everybody under the sun tried to get Ezra. All the time. Phone call, email, in-person visits. Everybody tried to steal that kid. He was extremely loyal. And he went as far as anybody can go. Now he's playing for the Greenville Triumph. And thank God that we were able to be a part of the process with Soda because of our relationship. Ezra was extremely loyal to us. Even though he went and played USL, that's what we want. We don't want to trap kids. We want to help them progress. But he'd go play, and then he'd come right back to us. And we helped aid him in that journey. There's tons of footage of the kid balling out. And he went through the process and went down to CFC. And after he was finished, he didn't get a lot of help. Did not get a lot of help. So that's a kid that was the youngest captain ever, that bled CFC colors for the whole time he was there. You cannot find a person with a higher work rate, dedication, loyalty, all of the above. This kid embodies all of it. And he wasn't getting the help. He had to go back and get help from his roots. And that is really what we're talking about. A lot of these players that play an acronym league, you know, I see them going to JUCOs or getting burnt out. I can call a JUCO and say, what do you need? I got a couple players, and they'll take them. So that's not an accolade. Anybody can go to a junior college. It's great. I know I'm going to catch some heat for this, but that's okay. I speak the truth. I've lived it. I've been a Division I coach. I've been a Division II coach. I've never recruited a player off of the league that they played in. I'm not saying they're not good players. There are. I'm just saying that the best players, in my opinion, are not playing in those top leagues. Those players that are playing in there are good, but they can afford it. And you do have a handful of scholarship players that these clubs will, they're very, very high level and giving them the opportunity. But there's not enough opportunities given.
There's not.
And too many of these parents are being snowballed and their money being taken chasing an acronym or keeping up with the Joneses because they can say their kid plays on X team. Or their kid's in an X pool, supposed to be on this team, but they never even played for this team. They always play for the lower teams. Or they got top kids playing for multiple teams. So what do you think that does to a player? On your body, on your mind. It wears you out. That's why they get burnt out, right? So focus on quality coaching. Focus on, you do have to have a good level. And you can get those, even if the league isn't an acronym league, you can still go to top tournaments and be seen just as anybody else. And here's my one hot take that I tell this to everybody. There's a true pathway to playing college. My recommendation, I do this for my own children. Start with education first. If your kid wants to go to college, match up educationally the schools they're interested in. If they're able to play a sport, in this instance we're talking about soccer, it is a true benefit for them to be a college athlete. Education first. If those entities match up and you're able to throw in soccer alongside that, I think you should 100% go for it. And the way that you go for it is to attend these colleges' ID camps. You're playing in front of the true college coaching staff, very small numbers, and most of the time there are additional college coaches they're helping from different divisions of college and different universities. So for example, when I coached at Newberry, we had Division I, Division II, Division III, and JUCOs at our camps, colleges. And we would give scholarships to the best players. We would invite those to our ID camps, get a good look at them, and if they were what we were looking for, we would give them an offer before they leave and talk to their family. That's tried and true. When you're going to these showcases, which are great, and I'll just use ECNL. Yeah, there are 500 plus coaches there. You're still a needle in the haystack. A coach has to be looking for you specifically, your position, knows you already. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of random people looking and say, oh, who's that kid? You may get seen, you may not. So don't just rely on a league. Do the other things that benefit you and your family. Seek out the college for your matching education. Go to the college ID camps. Put yourself in front of those college coaches. Play a good league, a good level, and go to top tournaments. It's that simple.
Well, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Pat, for joining us. This has been The Run of Play.